And I don't ever remember hearing that song. I mean, I used to sing all of his songs when I was playing with guitar and bars. I played a lot of his songs. Country Roads was the best. But I hadn't heard that one, but I thought that was a beautiful, beautiful song. And what fantastic words for healing time of our mother, for our Mother Earth. And we all need a healing time. Another one of our wonderful musicians passed away today, Merle Haggard, 79 years old. And boy, I'll miss him too. I just used to do a lot of two-step into his music. So anyway, my name is Judy Chapman, and I am one of the assistant ministers here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley, in beautiful, beautiful San Clemente. It's my delight to welcome each and every one of you here tonight. Thanks for being here. I know you're going to get so much out of this fabulous Wednesday service. We're going to start tonight like we start everything with a chant and an opening affirmative prayer. So Gina, if you'll start that, please. And I remember, and I listen, and I know that there is only one. It is the one life of God, and it is my life right here, right now. For there is only one absolute, only one first cause to all of creation, only one ancient wisdom, only one divine magnificence, only one presence, joy, beauty, love. And I know that all the qualities of God, every single one of them, live and move and has its expression through each one of us. We are spiritual beings expressing the love, the joy, the beauty, the presence of the beloved. We are the one. For I am that I am. I am that essence. I am that joy. I am that beloved. And so tonight I speak the truth, and I affirm and I decree that all is well, and that each and every one of us is lifted up to a highest consciousness tonight. For we are alive, awake, and aware of this divinity within us. And we listen tonight to Reverend Arpad with our spiritual ears, gleaning all the wisdom that is ours. We take it all in, and we are blessed. And so I place these words into the medium of the subjective mind, into the universal law where everything is created exactly as we believe. And so I fill my heart with gratitude as I accept this truth. And I anchor this affirmative prayer in confidence, in love, and in wisdom. And if you agree with me, please say with me, and so it is. I didn't hear you. And so it is. Okay, thank you very much. I was doing it all by myself there. Okay. A few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I did a few quotes, and I started them and you finished them, and I have 6 more, so I want you to yell out the answers. Then I'll tell you what the 6-year-olds said. Laugh and the whole world laughs with you. Cry and you have to blow your nose. 6-year-olds. There are none so blind as, what is it? Those that will not see. They said Stevie Wonder. Children should be seen and not spanked or grounded. If at first you don't succeed, get new batteries. What age do we live in, right? When the blind leads the blind, what is it? Is that the, I don't know that quote. When they said, get out of the way. Just get out of the way. A bird in the hand is going to poop on you. And the last one, and they say, and the winner is this last one, better late than pregnant. 6-year-olds. Better late than pregnant. Well, yes, I can relate. So, as you know, our center and the Centers for Spiritual Living throughout the world are having a yearly theme, and it's a global vision. And that yearly theme is a world that works for everyone. And then each month, we have a separate theme for the month, and then each week is a theme within that theme. But I wanted to read to you just exactly what our global vision is for the Centers for Spiritual Living. We envision all people, all beings, and all life as expressions of God. We see a world in which every person lives in alignment with in his or her highest spiritual principle. And it goes on, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other, a world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. We envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence and discovering the creative power of thought. A world where every person discovers his or her own personal power and ability, and the ability to create an individual life that works within the world that works for everyone. We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family, and that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. A world where this kinship with all of life and prosperity connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. We envision a world where personal responsibility joins with social consciousness in every area. That's just half of it, and I'll read the rest of it later at another time. But I think it's a fabulous world vision, a great vision for us to hold on to and be guided with in our own personal lives. I mean, how fabulous would it be if we were in a world that works for everyone, that we respect and we honor all people, all paths, all walks of life? The wars would be ended, and I believe it would just be a fabulous place to be. Not that this isn't wonderful, but it could get better. And we always work on ourselves because it all happens within ourselves. The peace begins here, the joy begins here, the love begins here, and then it goes out. So tonight, very excited about tonight. Just really loved hearing Reverend Arpad, and he's always so vibrant and has such a great consciousness. So tonight his topic is Women Are from Venus and Men Are from Mars. I think I've heard that before somewhere. Let us welcome Reverend Arpad Petrass.
Thank you, Reverend Judy. Woo. All right. Ah. Where's your man, Lorianne? He what? No, not yet. You just relax. You just relax. We need to tip the scales a little bit in our favor. We need him back. So anyway, you heard what the title of the talk is. And obviously this talk is about men and women. It's about relationships. It's about communicating with people. So my wife says a couple of days ago, Arpad, what are you talking about that? That's not spiritual. And I said, nay, nay, my dear. It is spiritual. Because what do we teach in this philosophy? We talk about love. Do we not? Over and over again. And sometimes it is just a bunch of words. You know, we teach classes in how to be a better person. We talk about love. In the Bible, it says love is the way and love is the answer. So we need a little more help in trying to practice what that's about. So that's the spiritual part of it for me. The other spiritual part of this talk is, you know, in the Eastern tradition, thousands of years ago, they realized one thing, that to be a complete, whole person, where do you think that concept of yin and yang came from? You ever see the symbol? Oh, he's back. He's back. Come on back. Anyway, have you ever seen the symbol? It's a circle, and then it has an S through it. One side is white, one side is black. And then each has a little dark circle of the opposite color, white or black. So as a whole, it makes a complete process. So to be more complete, you need to have the other parts of the other sex in you, that personality, that trait, okay? And you have to be confident in who you are as a person. But you also have to be open to receive the wisdom that comes from the opposite sex, the opposite thing. Does that make sense? So yin and yang is powerful. See, I consider myself a Renaissance man. Okay, I am grounded in my masculinity, but I don't mind sharing my feelings. It's okay. And I will cry when I'm emotional, and that's okay. But I'm still a guy. I don't think there's a woman in here that wants to be a guy, and there's not a guy in here that wants to be a woman. Not tonight. Okay, let's just leave it at that. Not tonight. Okay, we want to be in our skins, but we do things differently. We communicate differently. We solve problems differently. We deal with romance differently. We even shop differently. Now, let me tell you what I mean by that. A couple of weeks ago, the girls were up. We gave them gift cards to the outlet stores. So Peg was doing something else, so I said, we'll go. I'll go with you guys. So we went, the three of us went shopping, okay? Now, a simple thing like shopping, men don't shop. Men hunt, okay? We hunt. We know what we want. We know where we're going to go to get it. And if we like that and they have it in 3 different colors and it fits, I'm going to get all 3 of them. So before they knew it, I had gone to 2 stores. I had 3 bags of clothes in my hand, and the girls were still shopping. Okay, because that's just the way it is. So I'm going to start off by showing a video, where Gina's going to start the video, just to get us off on the right foot. So it's going to be a little workshop-y. It's going to be a little reverent. It's going to be a little funny. It's going to be a little serious. It's okay. I want it to be loose tonight, okay? And you're going to have to participate, and you're going to have to do some things, and that's okay. So are you ready, dear? Okay, go for it. So where did that come from? It's a parody on Dr. John Gray, who wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are, Women Are From Venus. Okay, that book is a classic. It was written in the 90s. It's a long time ago. It was translated into 42 different languages. okay? The guy found a way of talking about relationships in a very clever way and he was able to make it light and funny and serious all at the same time. So we have a lot of cliches that have come into our everyday language about that thing, okay? And the funny part about it is when he wrote that book, he was going through a divorce in his own life. But the statistics were something like 2 out of every 4 marriages wound up in a divorce. I mean, that's pretty nasty stuff. So what was going on? So he found these common traits. Now, I'm not saying that every man is this way and every woman is this way. These are just general statements, okay? So what's the one thing we know about communication? Women want empathy. They want to be heard and not fixed. They want to be heard. I see some people nodding already. They want to be heard, not fixed. But what does a man do? A man wants to solve a problem. He needs to fix things. I am the happiest I can ever be if I got a problem to fix. If there's something wrong on the computer and I can't figure it out, I am going to beat that thing to death. I'm going to wrestle it to the ground. I'm going to keep on working at it over and over again until I get it right. And if I don't get it right that night, I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm going to come up with a solution. And if I still can't fix it, then there's a problem. That's tech busters, please. But men want to solve and fix. Our listening muscles are not very developed in the beginning of a relationship, okay? Because we want to do what? Fix it. And what does a woman want to do? She wants to be heard. She wants you to listen. She does not want to be interrupted. And she needs to tell her story. And tell her story. And tell it again. And tell it again. And over again until she can figure it out. A lot of head nodding here. You agree with that, ladies? Okay. Now, a woman speaks about 20,000 words a day. The average person. Average. 20,000 words. A man? 7,000. 7,000. It's almost a 3-to-1 ratio. Okay? It's not like we don't have the words. We have the thoughts inside of us. We still think all those things, but we don't need to have them come out. See, men are not afraid of the silence or the gaps or the pauses between sentences. Does that make sense? If you have 2 guys talking, it'll be, hey, cool. What'd you do today? Yeah, not much. What about you? That's it. There's pause, there's space. But somehow that's kind of a threatening kind of idea for women because they think that there needs to be something to fill that space, that gap. You know, did any of you experience that? Yes, maybe, no? Okay. We solve problems differently, okay? You've heard the phrase, men go to their cave, right? Yeah? What do you think that means? Because, yes, you're right. Men go to their caves because it's a place to solve their problems. It's a place to fix, to solve their problems. So going to your cave doesn't mean you're going to go into the room and lock the door. It could be fixing the car. It could be washing the car, working on something, watching television. It's a place to come and do things, okay? So it's important to give the man the space when he walks through that door, that little time. You're nodding. Okay, good. So here would be a typical conversation. Man comes home from work and his wife says, "How was your day?" And he says, "Man, it really sucked. My boss got on me today and the project was falling apart and I couldn't make any sense. And then Then the money ran up on the project. I'm really bummed. I'm just going to go and watch TV. Do not tell him about your day and let him go to do what he needs to do because that is his problem. Now, a woman comes home from work and a man asks her, well, how was your day? She goes, wow, you wouldn't believe it. I get in my car, I go down to the dry cleaner. There was a spot on my shirt. They didn't get the spot out. It was terrible. It just ruined my whole day. I had to make him do it all over again. Then I go into work, and my boss, she's just over the top with this expectation. I don't know what to do. Then they call me from the preschool, and then I have to rush home and do everything. That's kind of how things go. Women will need to tell the whole story. I've been in a lot of committees where I've had men and women in the committee. And one thing I realize is that we get to the solution a different way. Everybody gets to the finish line. But for guys, it's linear. We go from A to B to C to D all the way to the end to get to the finish line. If it's a bunch of ladies in the room, they go from A to Z to G to F in all over the place. Everybody knows their place in that line. They are not confused. They know exactly what's going on, and they will come to the same conclusion. We just do it differently. So I'm going to have Darren and Lisa. Now it's your turn. Woo-hoo. They're going to do a little skit for us. This is an over-exaggerated skit. It really is. I want you to listen, okay? Because we never do things perfectly. I certainly don't do things perfectly. I've been with the same woman for 41 years. 41 years. I've seen a few things. I've screwed up a bunch of times. I still don't always listen well because I can't sometimes. But it's the process of learning both sides at the same time. So you two are ready? So ready?
She gets the nail. Go ahead, my beautiful Venusian.
I'm upset. I'm unhappy. I feel really terrible today.
Does this have anything to do with me?
I feel like nothing is right about my life. Yesterday, everything looked great. Today, it looks terrible.
You just need a little cheering up. Let's go to a movie.
I have so much to do every day. I have housework, errands, bills to pay. I feel so anxious and I hate all my clothes.
Things always look more complicated than they really are. What's wrong with your clothes?
I hate my hair. Maybe I should cut it again.
There's probably a great hairdresser here in town that you could go to.
I think maybe I've lost most of my friends. I'm not sure they like me anymore.
Nobody could not like you. Nobody could not like you. Where did that go? Don't worry.
I don't think you're listening to me.
Well, but there's a better way.
Don't do the better way for a second.
Okay, we'll hold off on the better way.
Hold off on the better way. You see what they're trying to point out? He is trying to do what? Fix it, make her feel better, sure. Distractions. He just needs to shut up and let her talk. There's a technique called dodging for you guys in this room, okay? When the woman is talking, learn to say, mm-hmm, okay.
Yes, dear.
Tell me more. Because what are you doing? You're practicing the principle of listening without trying to jump in so she can tell her story because she needs to tell her story. That makes sense? So do the better, exaggerated better way.
I'm upset and unhappy. I feel really terrible today.
I'm sorry, honey.
I feel like nothing is right about my life. Yesterday, everything looked great. Today, it looks terrible.
I know. It's amazing how that happens.
I have so much to do every day. I have housework, errands, bills to pay. I feel so anxious and I hate all my clothes.
That must feel terrible.
I hate my hair. Maybe I should cut it again. I think maybe I've lost most of my friends. I'm not sure they like me anymore.
You are such a loving person. Can I give you a hug?
Thanks so much for listening to me. I feel so much better. It's like weights were lifted off me. I love you.
I love you too, honey.
Appreciation goes a long way in a relationship. Appreciation, especially for men. You will get more out of your man if you appreciate what he's doing, recognize that what he's done, and let him know that. Men, you will get more from your women if you let them talk to when they're done. Does that make sense? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Now, I want to read something to you. These are characters.
Are we done here, Arpad? Should we? We have
Oh,
another
you're-
page here. I didn't know we were supposed to.
You later.
Well, oh, so we're coming back.
Yeah, you're coming
Oh,
back
okay.
for command performance.
We'll be back.
Characteristics of men and women. I want you to listen and see if you fall into any of these. Do you have any of these characteristics? And hopefully you'll have both characteristics of the male and the female side. So women offer unsolicited advice and direction. Drives guys crazy. Women feel an instinctive need to talk about what's bothering them many times till they discover what's wrong. Women feel motivated when they feel cherished. Cherished. Women's emotions are up and down like waves. I would say yes. Women experience love through caring, understanding, and respect. As you learn to listen to your woman, you are actually giving her respect and dignity for what she is going through and what she is sharing. It may make no sense to you whatsoever, but that's okay. It makes sense to her. Okay? Venusians study people and relationships. To feel better, women get together and openly talk about their problems. It's called talk therapy. And a woman's sense of self is defined through her feelings and the quality of her relationships. Men offer solutions many times in validating the woman's feelings. Men tend to pull away. Listen to this. Men tend to pull away silently, think about what's bothering them. Men are motivated when they feel needed. Needed. If we don't have a purpose, we don't have a job, and we're not making an impact in the relationship, in the family unit, et cetera, we're not needed. How can we solve a problem if you don't need us? Okay. Men get close, but then inevitably pull away. Ever had that happen in your relationship? Guy gets close, and then he kind of left. Men experience love through trust, acceptance, and appreciation. Men study things rather than relationships. To feel better, men go to their caves to solve problems. And finally, a man's sense of self is defined through his ability to achieve results. Okay? So if you can't solve the problem and you can't demonstrate a result, and then you haven't succeeded, then you failed. You failed as a man, you failed as a husband, you failed as a father. All these are failures to a lot of the average men if there's nothing to show for it. Does that kind of make sense? Okay, so what I want you to do now, I want you to, so if you're a, I want to get you in couples of two, 1, 2, 1, 2, okay? So I want you to, shall we, no, let's do it this way. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Remember your number. 1, 2, 1, 2. Darren, you're part of this too. 1. Okay, all the ones. 2. All the ones, find a 2 and sit next to them. Okay? Or, yeah, go ahead. Or just find somebody to sit next to them. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We don't have enough time to go through this. No, we have a single man, 2 single men. We need a woman with these 2 guys. So I have to break up this little foursome here. Gene's by himself, so he could use somebody. And you are? Mike needs a Mike needs a woman. Or maybe Mike needs a man. It doesn't matter. This is America. Okay, I want to give you 2 minutes. Ones will start, 2s will go second. What I want you to do is tell the other person how, from this list of what you remember, how many of these are your female characteristics and how many of the opposite characteristics you have, okay? So your female characteristics, and how much of that is your male characteristic. And then when you switch, the guys will do it. What are your male characteristics and what are your female characteristics? So don't edit, don't interrupt, just nod and listen and let the person talk for 2 minutes each. Yeah, does that make sense? Everybody have it? All this makes sense? No? Okay, I'll just read it. Women offer unsolicited advice. Women feel an instinctive need to talk about what's bothering them. Women feel motivated when they are cherished. Women's emotions are up and down. Women experience love through caring, understanding, and respect. Women study people and relationships. To feel better, women get together and openly talk about their problems. And a woman's sense of self is defined through her feelings and the quality of her relationships. Whatever you remember. Okay? Men offer solutions many times in validating a woman's feelings. Martians tend to pull away silently and think about what's bothering them. Men are motivated when they feel needed. Men get close, but then inevitably pull away. Men experience love through trust, acceptance, and appreciation. Men study things rather than relationships. To feel better, men go to their caves to solve problems. And a man's self is defined through his ability to achieve results. So in essence, are you a doer? Do you need to do things? Do you have results? Are you a good listener? Do you have emotions? What do you deal with your emotions? Blah, blah, blah. We'll put those in little categories. All right, and Mark, get set, go. Ones go first. Okay, finish up. 5 seconds. And switch. Okay, finish up. 5 more seconds. Five, four, three, two, and one. You two aren't playing back there. Huh? The idea is just to start a conversation, especially if you're in a relationship and you've had issues or you don't have issues, especially if you want to be in a relationship. These are good skills to have just to talk to anybody, you know, gay, homosexual, straight, doesn't matter. They're good skills to have. So what did you find out about yourself in a real short period of time? Do you feel like you are who you think you are?
Like being around my brothers than my
Uh-huh.
I love my sisters, but the talking, I tend to talk a lot, you know, when I'm nervous or,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
but with them, I didn't have to do that. So that was interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anybody else?
I was both.
You were both. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Want to solve things, but yet like to talk things out. Don't like the surface talk.
Yeah. There's a balance in this process. Anybody else have any comments? Especially people that don't know each other they're like, hey, what am I talking to the stranger for? I'm going to tell them, what? What? Are you crazy? It, you want to say that again?
I'm saying the difference is if you work for someone versus you work for yourself. It's totally different. When you work for yourself, you come home, your day's not over till tomorrow morning. Do you figure out what you're gonna do
Uh-huh.
next day?
Not-
You work for someone, so what? You go to work and you know.
So how does that relate to a relationship? Because you're working with people.
Well,
You may or may not be in a relationship.
my answer to this is pretty blunt,
Oh,
and I don't want to say that.
oh no. I don't think we've heard it before.
Well, you know, just literally. Do I want to come home? Watching television, I'm going to look at the television. I know that Joe Jose or this and this is going to try to do something that I want him to do. Try to figure out how, not to do it.
Okay.
And then I ask, did your shirt has got spider dry? Give me a shirt, I will buy it.
Okay. Who else?
My female side is I went through some difficult times and I would share that with anybody that would listen. And I would share it until I figured it out. And I was asked a question. I said, I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's over. It's done with. So people were kind enough to listen to me. Maybe they're thinking of something else. But I also learned when the man is talking to keep my mouth shut and let them talk.
Okay. Anybody else? Mike?
I found I do what I usually do in a male-female relationship. All the aspects that related to the female side of things were immediately not logged in. And so when I started my conversation, it was very difficult for me to even remember any of the female traits. And that's something I identify with well, even though there was one in particular that I was able to recall, and it was I do like to observe relationships. I felt connection with that, but I was a little bummed out that I couldn't remember the female side of things, and it's just it tends to be a tendency with me if I can't directly relate with it or it doesn't affect me immediately. I tend to not log it in to save that storage space for things that I feel are more relevant.
Yeah. Okay. So in the relationship, could you see possibly a danger sign as you're going through? Because where do we learn about relationships? Parents. Usually, most of us learn from our parents, and if you were grounded and you had a healthy upbringing, great. Probably brought that into the world as you got older. Okay, if you didn't, you had to compensate. You had to make up for it. You had to deal with the things you didn't get. So the things you didn't get, then you start finding in other people, and or you think you want something because you didn't get it, and then you get it, and it's not what you want because you realize that there's something a little weird. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Maybe. It's how you've learned to cope with people and life and love and disappointment and anger and resentment and all that crap, and we carry that with us. And somehow it either comes out or it doesn't.
Oh, play me some mountain music like Grandma and Grandpa used to play. And I'll float on down the river to a Cajun hideaway. Haven't done karaoke in a long, I couldn't resist. Haven't had a microphone since the last time I was drinking, which was over 6 years ago. And
So you're going to start now, or what?
I'm going to start now because you gave me the mic. Big mistake. Big mistake to give Bill W. the mic because I ain't giving it back. How long do I got this thing for?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
I just wanted to say that I feel like a man trapped inside a man's body. And yeah. And that's pretty much what I got. That's pretty much what I got out of the exercise. And but I think, we have a very healthy relationship, actually, Laurie and I, and a very nurturing one. And I think all in all that I have a lot of feminine side, actually. Now, she calls me alpha male in a lot of respects, but I think the way I view a lot of things, I have a very docile side, a lot of things. And I think because I grew up without a father, my mom has been a very major influence in my life. She is the dominant leading force in my life, and that she's probably the one I want to emulate the most. So I'm probably a very strong male character in many respects, but she's really a prime influence. And so I consider myself really softened by that influence of my mom. Yeah.
It's important just to acknowledge all of the parts of you. The good, the bad, the ugly, doesn't matter. But we have all those different parts, And if you know it, you own it. If you own it, you get through life a lot easier, I think. Okay, it doesn't mean it's perfect. It just means that it's easier. You have a tool, you have a skill, you have something you can take into the next relationship with. Okay, I'm way over, so I'm just going to say a couple more things, and then I could go on forever. Sorry. Do you know there's a point system in romance? A point system. Men and women score points differently when it comes to romance. I want the guys to remember this. Women give you 1 point for 1 rose. 1 point, 1 rose. If you give her a dozen roses, 1 point. Okay, 1 point. Give her a BMW, maybe you'll get 5, for 1 point. Okay, you give her 12 roses, 12 separate times, you get 12 points. Think about that. Women like the little things. And they like the little things when it comes to solving problems. So if she is overwhelmed and overburdened with stuff, take off the little things on her list. Don't do the big things. Guys think that the big thing gets you more points. It doesn't get you more points. Not when it comes to romance. Okay? Yeah. A woman's, I got to say this right, love tank is like a gas tank. You got to constantly fill it up or she's going to run out of gas. Little things for women, okay? And guys, what about the guys? What do we need? What do we want? I have no clue what I want. We want appreciation. We want recognition, okay? And we have to learn that big things are not, it's not important. And what I've seen happen a lot of times is guys will make the decision, if I work harder, I work longer, and make more money, then I'll be able to provide for my family and my kids, which is great. When it comes to romance, not so good, because they'd rather have you in a bedroom. So, what's all this about, Alfie? It's about opening yourself up and knowing that we are all unique and wonderful and different, and it's okay to be who we are, but we have characteristics of other people, other experiences, the male, the female. Bring it in there, own it, communicate. Don't solve problems. Listen, women. Don't try to fix your man. Don't become the home improvement committee. And now that you're living together, you want to make it all right for him. No, give him a chance. Okay. So that's all I got because I've way over time. Thank you very much. Namaste.